Hi everybody, it's Nathan, and this is Take 10, the daily art challenge where I challenge myself to work for 10 minutes on something for myself. Trying something a little different today. I've done these handheld things before at work here, but today's the first day I'm going to try to record the voice also, because quite frankly doing voiceover later is a pain. So forgive me if I get a little quiet here. I'm trying to hold the camera with one hand, ink with the other. Everything is sort of precariously balanced. It's difficult to work with. Let's see. I think today's inspirational artist will be John Howe. Recently got a book of his. If you're not familiar, he's a fantasy illustrator. His claim to fame is he's sort of the go-to guy for Tolkien. He worked on the concept art for the Peter Jackson movies. He's done lots of like calendars and book covers and things like that for the Tolkien books. Generally recognized as master of his craft, and rightly so. I was lucky enough to come across a copy of his art book at a used bookstore here in Sydney. I hadn't realized, but apparently it's a little hard to find, so I got lucky. This has nothing to do with what I'm drawing today, which is just a cartoony fish. I'm finding not being able to turn the page and having to crane my neck to the side is hindering my inking ability. Not that I'm a great inker or anything, but I'm usually a little better than this. But hey, adversity builds strength, right? Or makes you so frustrated that you quit. One of those two. Let's hope for the strength part. Well, that's good. Made a huge mistake. Let's see if I can fix that or do something with it. I did this little sketch on the train coming into work today so that I could ink it for this, because tonight I have to go to a cartooning gig. I work for a local company that hires out basically caricaturists, as well as other things like magicians and singers and whatnot, to go to parties. And tonight we have a job at the Sydney Museum. So hopefully I get to draw some. I do the backgrounds, generally speaking. There's another artist that does the caricature heads, and I do the bodies and the backgrounds. It's a lot of fun. It's nerve-wracking at the beginning of the night, because I've usually not practiced enough, and you're expected to turn these out in like a couple minutes. No underdrawing. Straight out with usually colored pencil or charcoal even. It's difficult, but it's rewarding to be able to draw and make money for it. It beats having to make money without drawing. You're probably hearing all kinds of strange things in the background. This building is very open plan, so the businesses downstairs are already open and making noise, so you'll hear some things from them occasionally. But I'd like to go on the record saying we are not open yet, and I am not on the clock yet, so nobody's getting cheated here, except my inking hand. Shaky today too. That's good. Maybe I can make another mistake to recover from. Sometimes mistakes are cool. Sometimes you can get some good things from mistakes, but when you have a specific plan and you're trying for it, they're just frustrating. I don't generally draw fish, even cartoon fish. I do draw scaly things, so that's not too bad. I'm going to switch over to a different tool today. A little ways in, I have this super fine roller pen called a High-Tech. Like an incredibly small micron roller pen. You can do tiny, tiny little lines with it. Usually I can get quite fine lines with the brush pen, but today it's like I'm house painting over here. Just slopping it around. I don't know. Some days it's easier, some days it's tough. Keep hoping if I work at this more and more, it'll get easier. And generally it does, but you still have days like today. I'm struggling to make anything work here. Ugh. So why did I pick John Howe today? Mostly because that book, and because I was looking at it last night, and some of his stuff is just inspiring to me. The way he does lighting is really good. He paints primarily in oil, as far as I can tell. He does lots of prelims in pencil and things that are very detailed. Way more detailed than my pencils generally are. And he's, you know, he's one of the biggies. He's like a big name illustrator. I love the little guys. I really do. But there's no denying the impact of the big guys, because more people see their stuff. I think that's really the only distinction. There's no quality difference in a lot of cases between people who are known and have huge names and people who aren't necessarily that known. There are lots of unknowns that are great that I've seen, and I've only seen a few. I mean, obviously my experience is quite limited, so that means, technically speaking, there should be lots and lots of unknowns that are spectacular, but no one ever sees them. So if you happen to be an unknown out there, regardless of what you think of your skill level, post your stuff. Put it up there, let everybody see it. The pressure you feel posting it up will actually make you do better, generally speaking, and you might get feedback, which will help you get better, and you'll get appreciation for how good you are already. You may end up with a few, you know, comments that are biting, whether true or not, but honestly, that's going to happen no matter what. And if you want to be an artist, you're going to have to show people the art. That's the way art works. It's not like closet dramas and playwriting where you can just write things that aren't meant to be performed. Never have understood that. You can't really do that with art. I mean, you can make stuff you don't plan to ever show anybody, but what's the point? You might say, well, I'm showing it to myself. That may be true, but if you're your audience, then there's really no reason to try to get better, because you're already well acquainted with how good you are. I know, I say that, and then I'm like, I don't practice it as much as I should. There we are so far. Just got a few seconds left here. I'm going to grab that Tech pen and just show you guys how it works or what it looks like. There it is, 0.25 millimeter. Pretty small, pretty small. Switch hands here, sorry. I know I'm constantly apologizing for this crappy camera work, but this is really the only way I can do this. What this lets me do is put little, tiny little lines, so I can get this gray tone shading. This has already simulated the scales mostly with the big pen. I'm just gonna spiral my way into some shadows. Add some more texture here and there, lighten some things up. Well, the eye's starting to get there. This is one of those ones I would have to redo a few times. But every little bit helps. Eventually, I'll be better at fish. Not even sure this lip is reading. In case anyone's wondering what in the world this is. He's got like a big protruding lip. Like most of my characters, he's pouting. And little teeth. Got little fish teeth. My error. I find you can get a lot of good contrast stuff by putting some texture in and leaving some texture out in certain areas. Because this pen's got such a fine line, you can jump in and do little squiggles and scratches and stuff where normally you wouldn't see anything. And even if I just do hatching, it works out pretty well because it's so fine. Anyway, there it is. Crazy little cartoon fish. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting and liking and all that stuff. And hopefully I'll see you with a better drawing tomorrow. Take care and keep making stuff.